What's up, everybody? John Mazzella, Tri-State. Welcome to the Bullpen. What's going on, peeps?
What's up?
All right. As usual, we'll go over the numbers. Top 20 individual for the month of March. Wow, March is over already.
Flew by.
That's crazy. All right. Number 20, Jeffrey Butte, 28, 8, 12, 19, Jamie Bendenhaley, 29, 171, 18, John Mazzella, 29, 453, 17, Quitzy Khaleesi, 31, 553, 16, Craig Wood. Good job, Craig. 32, 358. 15, Jesse Pauley, 35, 259. 14, Garrett Duet, 35, 866. 13, Michael Hooverline. If I mispronounce your last name, I apologize. 36, 998. 12, Danielle Byrne, 38, 125. 11, Mario Guajardo, 38, 501. 10, Matthew Bosch, 39, 228. Number 9, Orlando Payne, 41, 593. 8, Stephanie Culver, 43, 475. Number 7, Francis Doherty. Good job, Francis. 48, 506. Number 6, Theodore Ingram, 61, 764. Number 5, Christopher Wasserman, 61, 958. Number 4, Wayne Carr, 66, 085. Number 3, Jonathan Porcina, 84, 401. Number 2, Steve Giordano, 90,278. And number 1, David Pyle, 146, 912 for the month of March. Insanity. Give them a big round of applause, everybody. Top issue paid agencies for March, 3.3696 million. It's a huge month. All right. We have, is it Shamira Thompson from Dynasty?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you pronounce her name?
Shamira, yeah.
Shamira, I'm sorry, 24, 133. Carlos Reynoso, 67, 475. Jeff Butte, 75, 523. Stephanie Kova, 91, 161. Danielle Byrne, 94, 475. Francis Doherty, 96, 472. Alex Labrija, Family First Third Coast, 97, 250. Daniel Gonzalez, Family First The Future, 97, 315. Michael Loa, 102, 372 from Pay It Forward. Jonathan Porcina, FFL Loyalty, 125, 383. Cindy Sitting, FFL Service Before Self, 147, 256. Jesse Pauley, FFL Avenues, 154, 218. Gabriel S., FFL The Way, 195, 382. Jose Graziano, Anna, FFL Momentum, 242, 224. Carrie Joyner, FFL Humble Beginnings, 242, 366. David Pyle, FFL Great Lakes, 245, 857. Is it Caleb?
Caleb
Caleb.
Amaros.
My apologies. Caleb, FFL 320, 291. Mark T, 335, 307 from FFL The Chosen Ones. FFL Health and Wealth, Steve Giordano, 448, 235. Number 4, Wayne Carr, 533, 948. FFL Hidden Gems. Rob Richmond, FFL Apex, 834, 681. And breaking $1 million, Brian Mendenhall, FFL Central, 1,021,620. And Ivan Fedorov on his way to 2 million, FFL Universe, 1.8 million in a month. Insanity. Good job, everybody. And just want to congratulate first-time writers, Maria L., Eric V., Scott C., Kenneth W., Andrew G., Bobby C., Tony J., John P., Joel S., Cynthia C., Evan S., Abed H., Leon,
Leonidas.
Leonidas P. If I mispronounced that, my apologies. Vanessa F., Nick M., Michael N., Mark T., Brittany H., Darius H., Yolanda S., Jesse R., Alejandro S., Zanisha C., Hassan B., Mary B., and Ali S. Good job, guys. So before I do the numbers, I just wanted to go over a few things. Couple of things caught my attention over the weekend. First and foremost, I know that there are a lot of internet leads in our system. And I think there's a lot of confusion with these leads because I've gotten a handful of text over the weekend or maybe the end of last week. Internet leads are just that, they're internet leads. So just know that when somebody goes online, fills out information, that lead not only goes to FFL, but it goes to dozens, possibly hundreds of other agents across the country. So when it goes into the FFL CRM and you purchase that lead, you're the only one in FFL getting that lead. You know, I have people confused saying, oh, I thought I was the only one getting that lead. Yeah, you're the only one getting that lead in FFL, but there are other people that buy those internet leads as well. You know, we're not the only IMO in town. So because of that, you're up against the clock. When you get that information, you want to call it ASAP because there are other hungry agents out there dialing those leads. All right, so I just wanted to clarify on that. Also, it's very important to be as diverse as you can with your leads. I mean, yes, there's internet leads, there's Facebook leads, there's mortgage leads. Be diverse. I mean, hey, good job today. I mean, you got some Facebook leads and you did really well with them this morning. I think, what'd you say, 12 calls and 4 appointments on new Facebook leads. So good job there. I mean, I did a combination of internet leads as well as mortgage leads. I think I have, 11 appointments, 12 appointments. And there's a lot of appointments being made in the office this morning. And why you're not here is beyond me, but you know, that's on you. What was that?
So you tell them.
Trying to, you know, I repeat myself every Monday. You know, how many times do I say, gotta get in the office because you're gonna be better. You know, look at Aaron. The guy's in here for the last 2 months every Monday, and he asks us a lot of questions, and he wrote $28,000 in business this week.
Good job, Aaron.
All he does is come to the office and show up and work. He doesn't do it from home. I've said it a million times. It's so easy to make the calls in your house. And after 20, 30 minutes, it's very easy to see what's on Netflix. Because you get frustrated from making the calls. But we don't get frustrated in the office. We actually have a real good time. Right, guys?
Yeah.
So, any questions about in-home phone scripts? Hey, Shanae.
Hey, I've heard before that when you ask someone their health and it's in regards to say if they have like diabetes or high blood pressure or something like that, I've heard you say what's their blood level or something like that. Is that important to know?
A1C level is huge. Whenever you hear somebody say, I'm a diabetic, the first questions you want to know are, number one, are you type 1 or type 2?
Okay.
Are you on insulin? Are you metformin? There's so many levels of diabetes that you really want to know, because if you're on insulin, it's a knockout for America. So if you're diabetic prior to age 50, Living Promise, it's graded. Express products, you're out. So you want to dissect it as much as possible. The more information you get from a person, the more you're going to be able to help them. It doesn't just stop as diabetes.
Right.
So just to give you an example, I have a guy who is on insulin, and for whatever reason, I had to write him with Foresters, fully underwritten. So we did our exam a week or two ago, maybe last week. But he also had, actually his A1C level, his A1C1 level was like 7, but because he hasn't been to the doctor in a year, they requested another blood. Actually, they didn't, they requested another blood.
Okay.
An updated thing. I think it was, I don't remember if it was, I don't think it was fully underwritten. I think it was simplified issue. Long story short, I called the guy today to see if he got his updated, but his A1C level is at a 10. If your A1C level is at a 10, you're going to blow up and drop dead soon. You know, it's like, so they're going to probably decline him.
So is there a safe number that it should be like, is it under 7?
If it's under 7, the question that HMS is going to ask you on America's policy, on America's application is, I know what it is. Do you all know? Do you guys write HMS products?
No.
No, seriously. You don't know what the answer is?
No.
Anybody know?
I write HMS, but I only go by the application on off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's in the application. It's one of the questions right there. In the HMS where it says hypertension and then it says diabetes, or maybe diabetes is first, it asks maybe like 6, 7 questions for diabetes. Is your A1C level over 8?
Right, yeah.
So if it's over 8, then you're probably going to decline it.
Okay.
So all carriers are different, Shanae.
Yeah.
But when somebody does it, say, you know, when I'm doing a phone script and somebody just says they have diabetes, I just look to have a conversation with people, you know, to make it sound like I know what I'm doing. God bless you.
Thank you.
But the more questions you ask somebody, the more comfortable they're actually going to feel and the more committed they feel.
Right, and the basis of the question also too stems from, I know you always say that we have to be good underwriters. So sometimes I feel like there's other questions that we could probably ask that makes us seem a little bit more legitimate that we do know. And I've heard other top producers say something in the realm of, well, what's your blood level, your A1C?
A1C
And I
level.
absolutely did not know what that was, so I just want to clarify.
A1C level is a very important question when somebody has diabetes. A1C level is, are you type 1 or type 2? Are you on metformin? You on insulin? If you're on insulin, how many units a day are you doing? That's not really relevant, but it is for a lot of carriers. How many units a day you doing? How long have you been a diabetic? And then what's your A1C level? And usually if somebody's a diabetic, not all the time, maybe more than 50% of the time, they're overweight. So you want to ask them their height and weight.
Okay.
But then again, on the flip side, there are a lot of people that are like 5'7", 180, 170, 190. So yeah, diabetes, there's so many variables that are involved in diabetes. Aaron?
So,
I don't even have to ask, does anybody have questions? Anybody have questions? I don't even have to like wait for him to raise his hand. I just call his name and he's got a question for him.
so can you just walk through the process of once you get in the home, be it a mortgage lead or a final expense lead, how you get the clients to sell you on the fact that they need the life insurance before you get into your presentation?
Well, the first question I ask after I'm done with all my, you know, how long you here, where'd you move from? As soon as I get right into it, I'm showing them my license, my driver's license, and in about another week, I'll be showing them my vaccine shot. right? So, because seems like there are a lot of people that are concerned about that. So I showed them that, then I showed them the lead. So the first question is, how many did you get if it's a mortgage lead? Why did you fill it out? And then from there, I know where I'm going. 9 out of 10 times, they're going to tell you, I filled it out because I want to protect my wife or my kids in the event, God forbid, something happens. That's the answer you're looking for. But then again, you do have one person that's going to say, I just filled it out because you sent me like 15 of them, and I just sent it back just to send it back. All right, so are you looking to protect the loan? No, I already have life insurance. All right, how much life insurance do you have? And then you got to go that route. But most people will tell you that they are looking to protect their family. Okay, great. So you already thought about it. This is what you want to do, right? You already thought about it. You took the time, you read it, you understood it, you filled it out, you sent it back to us. So you thought about it already that you want it. So that is going to eliminate one of the three major rebuttals down the road. You know, there's, I got to talk to somebody, I got to think about it, I got to talk to my dog, whatever the case may be. But you know, I got to think about it is 8 out of 10 times. So when they tell you I got to think about it, you go back to the very beginning. Listen, you told me you filled this out because you're looking to protect them. So let me get this right. You're trying, you got to think about if you want to protect your family or not. And then just break them down, because the chances are it's not you, it's just the money. So just break it down that way.
So the third major rebuttal I'm getting is I have to check my finances, see how it fits in the budget.
Aaron, dude, the bank gave you a loan to buy this house. Like, that 40% of your money for this house is already accounted for. That's 53% that leaves you in the open to do whatever you want. Buy cigarettes, go drinking, kill yourself, whatever, 53%. So you're gonna sit here and tell me you gotta think about if you have $150, $200, $100 to protect your family? Come on, dude, seriously. And I tell people straight out, like, really? Like, 47% of your funds have already been accounted for. You mean to tell me if you spend $100 on life insurance or, you know, insurance to protect your family, it's going to put you on line for government cheese? No.
So are you asking them, well, how much do you spend for X, Y, and Z? You're just going,
Well, I'll also have the financial inventory as well.
Right.
Like, I know how much money they make. You know, if there's $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 coming in, and I'm telling them to spend $100, $200, like, dude, there's no way I'm leaving this house with that answer. Like, there's no way. Now, if you're on Social Security and it's a final expense policy and you want to be buried, you don't want to be cremated, and the policy is like $120, $100, and you bring home $800, $900, I could see that. And I'll tell them straight out, listen, you make only $800 to bury you. It's going to cost you. I just buried Dad like 4 years ago. It cost $16,000. Granted, that was in New York, a little bit higher in price, but you're still going to be, you know, they're still going to have to spend about $12,000 to bury you. You know, if you do it the Hoople way, you know, the Fugazi way, you know, maybe you could get away with 10 grand. But let's just assume 10 grand. Let's just assume no dinner, no lollipops, no nothing, no party at the end of this. Conservatively, 10 grand. You know, based on your income, I could probably, you know, get you 5 grand. But
Are you going in depth in the, I've heard some agents say to really ask each bill, like, how much is your car insurance?
I'm not doing that. I mean, you know, again, what I do and what this guy does and what this guy does is not wrong. What I do is not wrong. It's not right. You just have to every home is different. We're chameleons. We don't know what we're walking into. We don't know if we're walking into a trailer park where the house is just turned upside down. There's 7 cats. It smells like cat urine. She's really, really poor. And that's the reason why we don't walk into houses with suits on, because we don't know who we're walking into, and we don't want to make people feel bad. Or on the flip side, we don't know if we're walking into, a doctor's house where it's like 4,000 square feet. So we're chameleons. We just got to adjust to each appointment. So if you feel it's necessary to, just dissecting every bill, I definitely do not do that. But, should you not do it? I'm not saying you shouldn't, but to me, it's not necessary, especially for final expense. Like, I don't care what your electric bill is. I don't care if it's $100 or $400. I'm just trying to bury you for your kids or your husband or your spouse. That's all I really care about. Is that a question I see?
In another week, you'll show them, ? Missed
Who is that?
Vaccine
that.
Who is that?
Patrice Pagano.
What happened?
Yeah, you said when you go in, you show them your state license, your driver's license, in about a week. I'm
Oh,
gonna
is
show
that-
them my vaccine.
Oh, is that what she's questioning? Or that questioning? Yeah, in another week, I get my second vaccine shot. So when I go into a house now, I'm showing them my state license, my driver's license. When I go into appointments after I get my vaccine, they give you a little card, give you a little happy face. I'm just going to stuff a copy of that in my license to show them that I have my COVID shot, so nobody has any concerns about the stupid mask that I'm wearing. Hopefully that answers the question. Yes,
I got
sir.
a question. So I was on an appointment and the gentleman didn't want to produce his policy. Should I still move on?
Now, the reason why he didn't want to produce his policy is why? I'm just too lazy and I don't want to get up and walk upstairs, or it's none of your business?
So he made me feel as if I was some sleazy life insurance guy. So I was like, hey, how about let's go grab your policy and save me about 5 minutes of medical questions. I'll see what you
The only reason why I'm asking you for your policy is because I just want to make sure we're not double dipping. Double dipping probably has nothing to do with this, but it sounds good to them.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that you need this, because if you're good, the only reason why I'm asking you to get the policy is I just want to make sure that we're good, because I cannot explain to you, I cannot tell you how many houses I walk into and I hear the same thing. I got life insurance. I'm good till 95. I'm good till 100. No, dude, you're good till 67, and then at 67, your rate goes from $100 a month to $700 a month. That's what I need to see. Just because your agent said this policy is good till lifetime, it doesn't mean that you can afford it. You're thinking that you're going to pay $100 a month. And if you are, great, no problem. Chances are you don't. So me, because this is what I do, and I'm an advocate for life insurance, I break it down. If you have a policy that's good, I'm not looking to replace it, not looking to touch it. I just want to make sure that we're not doing something we're not supposed to do. Because I just want to save you time and me time. I got like 7 other appointments to go to. You don't want me here for longer than when I'm going to be here. So if you have a policy, personally, I don't really care how much insurance you have. I just need to make sure that we're doing the right thing by you.
But if he doesn't get it, will you move on?
Yeah, you don't have a choice. That's the reason why, and I said this a few months ago, that's one of the reasons why I don't ask for life insurance when I'm in the home. For 2 reasons. Number one, it could confuse the reason why you're there. Because when other policies come up, then it makes them think like, oh, I already have $300,000, so what do I need this insurance for? I don't want them to have to rely on that policy. So sometimes I don't ask about other policies. Sometimes I do. It depends on where the conversation, you already asked 3, so hold on.
With that being said, like, when you get to the point in the application where it asks for, other life insurance, or if they have another type of life insurance, what do you do then?
Say no. I don't want to say that, but yeah, I was just say no, because chances are they have work insurance and it's going to be no anyway, but
Oh, so if they have work insurance, that's, you answer no to that? That's
Yeah,
what we're
yeah.
supposed to do?
yep, because it's not theirs.
Oh, okay.
So that's actually, excuse me, that's actually what I was gonna ask
Don't
about
put me on the spot, dude.
in relative to, my man's question. In terms of having life insurance already, if they have work insurance or they've done fully underwritten through New York Life, are you allocating that for lifestyle, for kids, for whatever, or you're not even getting into it?
Now, lately, I don't get involved with that. If it comes up, then I will. Again, it depends on the appointment. If I have somebody, if I go into a house and the Entenmann's cake is out, the tea is out, the coffee is out, the water's out, the everything is like, John, what's up? What do you need? Then I know I'm going to be in a comfortable scenario where they're going to lay it all on the table for me. Then that's something that I may do. But there are a lot of appointments where, personally, I don't care how much you have on life insurance. I'm just here to protect your mortgage. Now, as I said this a million times, if I know they have other assets, I'll go back another day. I'm not spending hours in one appointment. I'm going there, I'm doing my mortgage insurance, I'm writing my app, and then I'm gonna ask them if I could come back at a later date where I could go over all their assets to see if I could help you in that sense, as I helped you. You trusted me this way. Once that policy gets approved and issued and placed, make that appointment to go in the door the second time to see if I could get ancillary business. But I'm not doing that on the first time, because personally, I don't care. There are other people that tend to disagree, and that's cool. Me personally, I don't care. I don't care if you have $500,000. I don't care if you have stocks. I don't care. I'm just here for this. And I let them know that. And they appreciate that, because you're not a sales guy to them. Like, I don't care. But what I would like to do, since I do all aspects of life insurance, and mortgage insurance falls under the umbrella of life insurance because we're asking you medical questions, I would like to have an opportunity to come back and see if I could help you with your 401k, other policies that you do have. How many times I've walked into a house and I've written them a mortgage protection, an HMS, and then they're like, well, do you do life insurance too? I'm like, yeah, I do. Because I was thinking of getting a life insurance policy too. I'm like, all right, if you want, I could take care of that now for you. If you know what you want, or if you need me to help you, I'll help you with that now. I just had a girl like a month ago. I walked into her house. It was a mortgage lead. I walked in for mortgage insurance. She was like 44 years old. She owns a medical business. She makes like $300,000 a year. Single mom, 12-year-old girl. She brought her mom on the appointment. Like, I walked into her house, her mom was there. And I'm like, all right, this is cool. She goes, you're not intimidated? I'm like, no, I'm glad you're here, because if you're here to help her to see if we're doing the right thing, I respect that. And she respected me. I wrote her an Eagle, her an HMS, and an RUL to give her more.
Right.
And I wrote her $1 million TA, term answers, fully underwritten, just got approved over the weekend. So yeah, I come across that a lot with people like, yeah, do you do life insurance? Like, yeah, but I'm not gonna, say it that way. I'm just like, yeah, I think I can. Yes.
I was gonna say, is it different for final expense when you ask about other insurance policies?
To me, it's different, because with final expense, it's pretty cut and dry. It's just like, plan on being cremated or buried. And you're only there for final expense. Again, I don't really do a financial inventory for final expense, because I feel like you don't have to. You just want to know how much they're bringing home a month. Are they retired? I don't care how much they have in their savings. I don't care how much their cable bill is. I just care about. But if I know, Like if I walk into a final expense appointment and there's a Escalade in the driveway and an Audi or expensive cars, of course I'm thinking in my head they have a lot of assets. If they have like a little hoopty Chevy, it's a different conversation. Makes sense? Yes, sir.
So you say you don't ask about the assets, and on the inventory sheet, like the very last part is about the assets, so do you just skip that? Or
I don't use a financial inventory sheet. That's just me. I mean, all due respect, I don't want to sound cocky. I've been licensed for 12 years now. To me, I don't.
It's natural.
Yeah, I know what questions I have to ask. I could pretty much have an idea, not on what their assets are, but if they have other investments, and that'll come throughout the conversation of the appointment. Like, I don't go through a list and say, okay, what's your annual income? What's your net worth? Like, it just, all due respect, I understand that's what you guys do, but it looks like you're a rookie. It's the same thing as reading a phone script. Hi, Bob, this is John Mazzella. I'm calling, just like the stuff that comes out of my mouth is just so natural. And that's how I am in appointments. Again, I don't do a financial inventory sheet because I know what questions I have to ask. If I feel like they don't have money, I'll just touch upon it. If I feel they do have other assets, then I get a little bit deeper to make that second appointment. Anybody? Numbers for the week, so you guys could think about some questions for me?
Sure.
All right, so first up, this is all the people that said, yes, come to my home. I filled it out. I want your help. This is how many people we sat with, how many people said, yes, I'm going to sign here, and how many applications we wrote. So first up, JM, 23 appointments, 17 sits, which is not a bad ratio. 10 closes versus 17 sits, 12 applications, 28,776. Aaron, 24 appointments, 12 sits, 7 closes, 9 applications, $123 better than me. Just so you know, that really does piss me off. You know that, right? And like on the top 5,000 plus, like you were number 1, I was number 2, by like $200, like that really, like joking. But good job. Aaron, can you come up for me, man? Again, this is a guy who's here every week. I don't know if you're here on Thursdays because I'm not here, but I know you're here every Monday. You hit me, not every day, but you hit me often during the week. You come to my house, and this is what happens. I know this is annuity, and I don't hold that against you. I applaud you because I don't do annuities. I'm lucky I know how to spell annuities. So kudos to you. But the point I'm trying to make is, if I'm not mistaken, last week you did like 8,000 for the week?
Like 76, yeah.
And this week it doubled?
Yeah.
Aside from the
Correct.
annuity?
Yes.
Tell me, baby.
Oh, my bad.
So talk to me about the annuity. Like, how did you establish that? How did that come about?
It was a mortgage lead, older gentleman who,
The mortgage lead, how many months?
I want to say 2 months old.
How much was the lead?
I
How about $4, $4?
Whatever it was,
Amuse me.
is in the package. I'm not really
A
sure.
lot less than what you're getting paid.
Correct. So called him up, went to see him, 70 years old. He's all cashed up. I started going through the financial inventory, and he just started pulling out statements. I got this annuity, I got this annuity, I got this annuity, and everything is variable. So You know, I just said to him, listen, you may not need, you know, the mortgage protection, but, you know, you may have some of this money at risk. If we can protect your downside, would that be something that you're interested in where, you know, you might pay lower fees, and your money will continuously grow? And he was open to it. And that's how it happened.
Took the information,
Yeah.
brought it to FFL,
Yeah.
wrote an application, submitted it to him already.
Yeah.
So you went in there, you couldn't get the mortgage insurance, but you got the ancillary business,
Correct.
all in one sit.
Correct.
Good job.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Steve employed 24 appointments, 11 sits, 9 closes. That's a great ratio, Steve. I know you don't listen to us on Mondays anymore because, you know, you're a big shot now. I get it. You're doing conferences, you know, helping people call. I know you're big. But anyway, 24 appointments, 11 sits, 9 closes, 13 apps, 7302. Noah, 20 appointments, 10 sits, 7 closes, 7 out of 10, great ratio, 11 applications, good job there, 8928. Frank Doherty, 18 appointments, sat with 8 people, closed 6 of them, wrote 7 applications. Andy Garcia, that's Andy Garcia, right? Andy G, 15 appointments, 5 sits, 4 closes, 4 applications, 8,200. See, like this right here, I mean, we talk about this every week, where, see, even for me, where the more people you sit with, the obvious is the more closes you're gonna get. So we wanna try to tighten this as much as possible. So as far as here and here, it's all in the phone script. You know, the more information you get on the phone script, like you guys hear how I talk to people. You know, you guys hear my appointments. I try to ask extra questions. I make jokes. I just want to be as real as possible when I talk to people on the phone. And then there's the other group of people who are just afraid to be on the phone with people because they're afraid they're going to get hung up on after 30, 45 seconds of the call. So they're like, hey, this is John, got information, see you tomorrow, 2:00. You know, wow, what just happened? So that's why you get the 5 for 15, because they don't have the Entenmann's cake waiting for you. You know, they don't have the tea and the coffee waiting for you, because chances are they don't remember your name. Lazaro, 17 appointments, 10 sits, 5-5, $3,060. So big round for everybody there. How are we looking? Any other questions? Yes.
Okay, so I know you mentioned this before, but I'm still a little unclear on it. If, let's say if a child wants to get, adults would like to get insurance on their parent, right? Can the adult be the owner of it, or the parent has to be the owner and the insured? Now, do you know why is that? I'm just a little, I don't understand why they're the owner if their child is the one that's paying for it.
Yeah, carriers are not going to do that. They're going to question why. The only reason why they would allow the kid to be the owner is if the parent was in some sort of like, you know, if they had power of attorney of all their assets. But yeah, I mean,
it's not like really a big deal then, right? Like
it's not what?
It's not really a big deal, right? Just put them as the payer, as long as they get paid, technically, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going, the only way, not the only way, but the only way a parent could be an owner is if the child is a minor. Even if the child is like, you know, 25 years old, they want the child to be the owner. And I think from what I remember, they don't want the parent to reap the benefit of the cash value down the road. Because that policy is being designed for the child, that design is being child for the parent, that policy is being designed for the parent. So if the parent has $5,000 in cash value in 15 years, and the kid is the owner, technically the kid could wipe out that policy and take out all the cash because they're unemployed or they just want
Okay, I
money.
understand.
So they don't want to have the parent be at a disadvantage.
Right, okay.
I would guess that's the reason why, because that's what was explained to me a long time ago with a carrier, why I couldn't have a 40-year-old or however old she was be the owner of a policy for her mom who was like in her 70s.
So now, this is my second part, I'm sorry. As far as grandparents are concerned, can they be the owner of their grandkids, or does it have to be the parent?
Depends on the carrier.
Okay.
Can you talk about how you transition to getting multiple applications in one home? Like what kind of questions you ask, or what kind of?
Yeah, I mean, if you're sitting down, if you're sitting down, and again, you hear me say this outside all the time. Aaron, are we doing this for you and your wife, or just you, or just Todd? Well, both of us. And then chances are, when you give them both premiums, they're like, whoa, easy, yeah, let's just do it for him. But there are people that want it for both of them. Again, depends on the age, depends on the scenario. If you walk into a house and the guy's 72 years old and he just took out a $300,000 loan and he wants to cover the house for him and his wife on $300,000, guy, let's take a step back. Let me tell you how we're going to do it. So it depends, but just ask questions. After you write the policy, after you get your voided check, after you write your signatures. Maria, how you doing on final expense? You have that taken care of? Like, 50, 60-year-old, they're like, nah. Like, you didn't do your final expense yet? Do you have an outside agent? How do you not have that done? But you're doing it nicely. Like, how do you not have that done? Like, hold on, just give me a second. You plan on being cremated or buried? Cremated. And then I'll just show them like a stupid little, like a $5,000 policy with Mutual of Omaha for somebody in their 50s, like $18, $20. I'm like, Maria, $22. I go, I could do that. And again, because I do paper apps, take out the paper app, boom, sign here. And just ask certain questions, whether it's final expense. And that was what I was saying earlier about the ancillary business. But again, it all depends on the scenario. Obviously, if you're in a home for somebody who's in their 30s and early 40s who you just protected their mortgage, you're not going to ask them about mortgage insurance. But maybe ask them if they have any interest in doing blood and urine to do a life insurance policy on top of this. Again, you got to see how the conversation goes.
You're saying if you're in a mortgage protection appointment, is that what you're referring to when you ask for more?
Yeah, because a lot of people that I come across in their late 20s, in their 30s, early 40s, nobody wants $200,000 worth of insurance. Everybody wants like $1 million, $500,000, 1.5, 2 million.
Mhm.
Everybody wants a lot of insurance.
Mhm.
So I'll go there, I'll write the mortgage, and then, like I said, I can't tell you how many people tell me, do you do life insurance? Or I'm thinking about doing a life insurance policy with this. And I'm like, all right, if you get $1 million at your age and your health, it'll probably be like, $60, $70. But again, depends on the scenario. Yes, sir.
Now, do you ever go over like term versus permanent coverage ever in the home?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there are a lot of people, again, it all depends on which way the conversation is going. If I'm there for mortgage, I'm just there for mortgage. It depends on the scenario, but the way I break it down is, I ask them, do you know anything about insurance? And if they say no, I say you have term, then you have term where you possibly get all your money back at the end of that term. You have whole life, and you have index universal life. And I just break down the 3 different scenarios. And sometimes, like just to give an example, if somebody's like over 60 years old, they smoke, or they're in their 50s and they smoke, and I can't get them an HMS with their cashback option, maybe I'll redirect and do like an index universal life if they're healthy enough. So it all depends. But to answer your question, most of the time I'm breaking it down saying, this is what an IUL does, this is what a whole life does, this is what a term does. Yes.
So if you're sitting with a couple, do you say, hey, what does it look like if John dies?
Absolutely.
Like the Brian Mendenhall's story.
Yeah, I don't get that deep, because I'm such a sap that I'd probably start crying. I'm the guy that still cries when Nemo gets lost. So, dude, he kills me every time he gets lost. Like, I really cry. I'm like, wow. I still get upset when like Frosty melts. But yeah, I mean, that's a little too deep. Again, the reason why we ask you to listen to everybody's presentation, nobody's right, nobody's wrong. Not a lot of people are as powerful as Brian.
Right.
Brian's powerful. There's not a lot of people like that. Me, I'm more like a Wayne Carr guy. He seems like laid back, kicking it. Like, that's me. Him and I have a lot of similarities. And then you have like everybody does their things differently, and you just got to grab a little bit of everybody and just snowball it into you, but never take away on who you are, because that's ultimately going to be the seller. And I shouldn't have to tell you this. You're the guy that knocks on doors and you get people to say yes to you and do business with you. That's not even people who want your services. So, yeah, I mean, everybody's different, but yeah, I do say, listen, I had somebody throw me out of their house like 3 weeks ago. It was a younger couple. Like, she was 33, he was like 38. She made 30 grand, he made 70 grand, and she was cooking dinner. I was sitting down with the husband. They have kids running around. There was like 2 little girls. She comes over. I said, listen, I have a question for you. I mean, God forbid he dies tomorrow. What does it look like for you in this big house only making $30,000? She's like, I got kids here. She's like, God forbid. And she got really upset with me and literally threw me out of the house. And I got a really nasty email, a nasty text message the next day. And I didn't know who it was at first. And me, I got to go through my CRM, type in the phone number. Like, who is this? Who is this? And I'm like, oh, it's you. I'm like, I was nice about how I gave her a piece of my mind, because she went, I don't want to get into what she said, but it wasn't a good conversation, but I ended it right there. But yeah, some people, get upset with that. So again, it depends on what you're walking into. Every house is different. You got to be a chameleon. I don't do that for every appointment. It depends on what house I'm walking into. You have to just know what you could get away with and what you can't. It's like the guy that I was talking to on the phone earlier, who was Italian. I knew I could get away with making certain jokes with him and he would get it. But then again, there are other people that are real stiff and, hey, what do you want? Why are you calling me? And then you got to turn them, and, eventually they wind up getting soft to you. But again, every house is different. Every appointment is different. Every phone call is different. There's a lot of jerks on the other line, but when they find out who you are and why you're calling, they get a little soft. Some people don't, depending on the leads. Like, you did really well with your leads this morning. Maybe you didn't do well with yours, or maybe you didn't do well. I did well with mine. So every day is different. Yes, sir.
So I noticed you're talking about mortgage protection and life insurance, and the way I guess you're talking about it, it sounds like they're 2 different things. And I was under the impression that they were kind of the same thing, so I'm kind of confused on that.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. When you walk into a house, and this is why I separate why I'm there versus what they have. When I walk into a house because of mortgage, and I have the mortgage lead, and I'm here to protect your loan of $100,000, $200,000. I'm here to bring you mortgage insurance. How many times, I mean, I know you've been on the field, I know you've been on the field. How many times do people say, I don't want life insurance, I want mortgage insurance? So people think there's a big difference there. Technically, you know, there's not. It's the same thing. It falls under the same umbrella. But these people don't want life insurance. They want mortgage insurance. So I'm going in there directly doing mortgage insurance. Again, every appointment is different because there are going to be people, like especially people in their 60s and 70s, they don't want life insurance. They want mortgage insurance, thinking that mortgage insurance is going to be extremely cheaper than life insurance. But little do they know, it all depends on what their health is like. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
You sure?
I think so.
Because I got a little confused after I started rambling, but I did.
So basically, it is the same thing, but.
Mortgage insurance and life insurance, and I do say this to people, just so you know, mortgage insurance is a form of life insurance. The difference between life insurance and mortgage insurance is with mortgage insurance, they're going to give you more bells and whistles. Accelerated debt benefits, cashback option. If you become unemployed, they'll pay you premiums. That, by the way, only works for term answers with Mutual of Omaha, nothing else. So there are other bells and whistles that come with mortgage insurance that may not come with life insurance.
So you said the waiver of premium is only for Mutual of Omaha?
It's not a waiver of premium. It's called unemployment, where if you become unemployed, they'll pay your premium. So I guess it's not called waiver of premium.
Well, that's a waiver of premium.
It's more, if you become unemployed, because how many people have we come across where they say, I'm just worried about if I lose my job? You beat.
Well, so to add to that, actually, so if they do say that, do you?
Actually, I don't say you beat. What I'll say.
No.
What I do is, if you're so concerned about losing your job in the future, then the way you want to go is do an indexed universal life policy with Mutual of Omaha, because you're going to create cash value every year. So maybe after year 5, you have $5,000 in there. After year 20, it depends on how old they are. If they're like 40 years old, 35 years old, they're going to have a load of cash value down the road. So that's how I sell that. Like, if you're really worried about losing your job, Aaron, then my suggestion is get an IUL, because if you get a term policy with all your money back, you got to wait 25 years, 26 years before you start getting clips of your money. Some carriers, you got to wait 30 years before you get all your money back. But if you go this route, Index Universal Life with Mutual of Omaha, your cash value accrues every year. And yes, every year the interest, may be lower than the next year, but the cap will be 15%. The lowest will be 0%. Right now, you're getting 5.7%. That's good till 2021, and then 2022, the new rates come out, and that's going to be guaranteed for 12 months. So that's how I would sell it, and that's how I usually do sell it.
So to add to that, though, I was playing around with some of the carriers. I noticed Mutual of Omaha, when you put up a quote, it asks you, would you like to add an additional $1,000 of disability insurance for like $15 a month or something like that? So like, if someone says they're worried about that, but they want life insurance, do you add on the disability coverage?
Yes. It also depends on what they do for a living.
Right.
Because if they're an iron worker or a cop, firefighter, any risky job, they're not going to get declined. They're going to get declined for the disability, but maybe they'll get approved on the life insurance.
Okay.
So if somebody wants disability rider attached to it, I don't have a problem doing that. But you just have to know what the occupation is to know if it's going to get approved, or you want the occupation list to see if it gets approved. Like, even waiters get declined, which is stupid.
Waiters?
Yeah. Like bus boys and waiters, like.
You slip and fall.
I'm an agent. I could just slip and fall just as easy.
I was gonna say, your outline for the in-home, so you start off with your intro, like you show them your license, you were saying, and all your cards, and you go into the why, and then you ask them about, what do they know about insurance?
No, I don't ask them right after what they know about insurance. I mean, if I'm in there for, final expense, after I give them my licenses and, why did you fill this out? I explain to them what I'm gonna be doing. Sinead, just so you understand, what I'm gonna be doing over the next few minutes, we're gonna talk a little bit about this loan with the bank, or we're gonna talk about your funeral. I know, it's something that you don't want to discuss, but all I need is like 15, 25 minutes tops, just to make sure you're secure. We don't have to discuss this again. But if it's mortgage insurance, I say, hey, we're going to talk a little bit about the loan amount. We're going to talk a little bit about your goals. What do you want to see happen when you're here? What would you like to see happen when you're not here anymore? And then lastly, we'll talk a little bit about your health. Based on what you tell me, I'll give you some scenarios. I'll break it down for you based on your budget. You let me know which way you want to go.
And then after that, that's when you go into the quotes.
After I get their health information, yes, I'll have an idea of where I'm going to go once I get all their health information. Yes. Maria, questions?
No.
Anybody? We good?
We're all good, bro.
How long was that?
An hour.
7 minutes.
Yeah.
Good job, John. Great questions. Great questions.